Okay, I'm testing to see how will this videotape. So this camera has gotten hot, so I put it on HDMI output where the control is by an external device. So let's see if that helps in the cooling. It says I have almost 2 hours full of recording on this card. I think I have 128 gigabytes. So anyhow, I'm scrolling around and I got it in P mode. See, this one doesn't have like Sony, which I like. So I got it in program mode, which takes care of the shutter and aperture. So I'm shooting at 130, f2.8. The ISO is automatic, it's at 1000. It has the camera for single, so I don't know what is up that. You scroll very slowly because you don't want to jerking around. Okay, I think it automatically focuses, but I have no way of knowing. So this is my living room setup. I don't know if you can hear my voice, but anyhow, you stop the recording part. I see the recording. If I turn around, I see the tally light. And if I use the flippy screen, go around. So, this is 28 millimeter, or do I need the 24 millimeter? Now I'm going to try different lenses. I can use the Sony 16 millimeter with the ETZ11 adapter. This one I'm going to use next, but I'm just using the 28 millimeter on this right now. So I'm going to turn this off and start using different lenses. Okay, I'm logging around. I'm using the 18 through 140 DX lens. I forgot I had it. So let's see how this goes with vlogging. So I'm going to take it outside. I'm going to walk around. We're going to hear different sounds. Now I got it just for my vocal range. I'm trying to stay in the shot. So this is at 18 millimeters. And I'm at 4K. I think I'm running at 25p. Just want to see how that does. Then I'll try different settings too. So, a little warm out here. And I'm just going to walk around in the shade. What I'm looking for is, I got the, it is kind of heavy. Alright. I don't know if it's because of the lens, but I think the ZV-10 weighs a little bit less than this does. And I might try a little wind muff, but I don't know. So I'm walking around. Looking at the heat. I've been putting water on this plant, but looks like it's not doing too well. Not with this heat. See? If I turn it around, see? The flowers haven't even bloomed. They're trying. I keep putting water on it. I see little bugs. So anyhow. And there's my live oak, and there's Wanda. So let's see, I'm just going to move the screen back. I'm also going to scroll. So I got a close-up shot of her. So at 140 millimeters. Let's see if I keep her in the shot. Looks pretty good. Now I have it on the lowest setting for the monitor. I'm going to change that when I go outside. I think it's to prevent drainage of the battery by having it on the lowest setting. So there she goes. I got it at 50 millimeters right now. So this is 3.5 to 6.3. Right now I'm at f8. So the darker it is outside, the lowest it goes on the aperture, or as they say, wide open. And I think I'm at an f8 right here. It's supposed to be only going to 6.3, but I got it on P. So it's kind of automatic with the shutter and the ISO. Compensation is 0. So if I go to 70, 75, 85, 100, 140. So how is she doing? Looks like I got an hour and 51 minutes left. I'm doing JPEG fine. So let me shut this off. Okay, this is 1920 by 1080p at 120p. The other one was at 24, f8, 1250, ISO 125. So I'm going to see if she goes in slow motion. See what all the rave is about. So I could sit down and just put it on the tabletop. Just keep an eye on her. She's out in the sun with that black hair. I know she's hot. Okay, so that's 120p. This is 25p, 4K. So I'm doing these different clips, trying to see if this overheats again. It overheated last night and tonight. I did some things on the settings, but I can't find the controls anymore. I'll have to take a look at it. But there she is, 4K. And I can scroll back to like, let's go to 50 millimeters. Or better yet, let's see, 50, that's 75. So I want to go to 37. Here's the full frame equivalent. Oh, actually 24 millimeters on the crop. So there's the full frame effect. So we're doing this at 24, which should be 36. I got it on a tripod. It's pretty good. You can probably hear the cicadas. Seeing Wanda. Battery life is looking good. Got autofocus, but it's on animals. Okay. So, AEL. There we go. I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, let's see. Yep, it's staying on her. Alright, very good. I like that. Yeah, moving the camera. It's staying on. The wind is blowing. But now it's on her tail. Let me move this here. Okay. So I just moved it to her head. But it keeps growing right down her body. It doesn't stay on her head. I'm going to try to do her collar. So what I'm doing is just tracking her collar. That's as close as to her head I can get. If she ever faces me, nope, just lost her. So I'll point it again. Okay. So I'm filming the cat. There's Dusty. I got it. Kind of like the 35mm full frame equivalent. So this is at 24 on the DX. 1.5 crop is like 36. So what I'm seeing is if this is enough. So I got it down to 18, which is like a 27-28 right now. So I see there's Dusty. Now let's just scroll in a little bit. Now that's pretty good. 4.2, 4.5. You can't beat that. I got a real close shot of Dusty. And then it has his eyeball. Now if you just look at it. No, he's closing. There it is. Got it. He's closing his eyes. So apparently it's having a hard time with cats. Now, there's Buddy. I'm trying to see if he gets in focus. Now you see, it's not in focus. There we go. He doesn't like me pointing the camera to him. Very shy. But one, on the other hand, she loves all the attention. I'll go back all the way to 18. Okay, I just want to see how tiny she is. Go back to Buddy. Now I'm going to scroll around this way. So I just have the sunlight going through the windows right now. He's scratching himself. So what I'm doing right now is I'm looking at the battery life, see if it's overheating. I have it on the Manfrotto desktop tripod. It's pretty heavy. I'm going to weigh it shortly. Okay, turn that off. Okay, I got on animal tracking. It's at 140mm. I'm going to go all the way back to 18 so you can get the whole picture. So you see, at 18mm, and I'm about 10 feet away from the mirror, it does not recognize me. And I got it on animal tracking. So this is 4K 30p. I'm just slowly making it closer and closer. 35mm. I'm at 50mm. 75, up to 100, 140. So I see it does, yep, it just recognized me at 140. So I'm going to do the lock. Yeah, that's on there. So I'm just going to scroll back. See if I stay in focus. So this is the 18 to 140. Back and forth. 6.3. Looking at a mirror. So let's look at this clock. Scroll down here. Okay, this is a good test too. Went from 18 to 140 all the way. It looks sharp. Half a shutter. Yeah. Okay, it's on there now. Let's see if it stays. Yep, it's staying. So I'm scrolling back. Still there. Now let me bring it up. So what I'm seeing is if it takes it off, no, focus is still there. It stays on the clock. Very good. I'm going to turn off the video now. Now I'm at 14 millimeters. This is the widest field of view, 14 to 30 f4, 4000 ISO. So this is a kind of a heavy lens too. So this is a lot of weight for vlogging. And this tripod is holding it. The color looks good. So I'm like a peach color or whatever. I'll put all these videos on and show you the different lenses I'm using. So it hasn't overheated yet since I've taken it off the Ecamm Live. I'm just using it for vlogging. But you know, my Z7 II and sometimes the Z5 overheats. Z6 II I think only did it one time, but I left it on for hours. Forgot to turn it off. Good thing I had a dummy battery. So anyway, I'm walking around. Raise it up. Yeah, it's heavy, so I may have to move my arm or switch arms. So I'm walking around trying to avoid the pets. So this is at 14 millimeters. I think it's at 14. No, I take that back. This is 24 to 200. I put on the wrong lens. Well, that figures. So this is 24 to 200, which is like the 36 to 300. Full frame lens. So this is like shooting full frame right now. 35 millimeter. Only it's at 36. And it is heavy. And I'm right-handed. So let me see what else I have. Now that's better. This is the 14 to 30. So this is kind of like the 21 to 45. So this is either landscape or vlogging. At the f4 right now. Let me turn it up. How do I look? This is a good vlogging lens. Let me turn around. So you can see how dark it is, how I'm just turning around where the light. So if I'm facing the light, it's doing like it's supposed to. Just walking around. And it's heavy. So I can see the box around my head and my eye. Bring it closer, I don't see it. So I don't know. I don't know if it's the glasses. Let me turn, yep. It was the glasses. So I turned off the glasses. Now it's over the eye. And I think it's having a problem with my beard. That's the other reason why I like keeping this beard, because it throws off the auto tracking. Somehow the white with the automatic white balance, whatever, kind of plays tricks with the autofocusing. I look like I'm in focus, okay? But I really can't tell with the LCD screen. So I'm just scrolling around, walking around the house, talking to you. At least I'm not car vlogging. So I'm going to turn it up a little bit to see if I can get a close up. And do a half shutter. Yeah, I'm in focus. Okay. I'm going to walk around. Yeah. Now you see, once I get into the light, it's around my eyes. If it's in the dark, it's a different story. But go this way, it's off. I'm in the shade. Isn't that pretty? It's in my bedroom. So once I hit the sunlight again, it should be coming back on. There it is. So it's back on. Interesting. Now I'm going to put on my glasses. And it went from the eyeball to around the head. And now there's no yellow mark box. But take the glasses off, immediately the box comes on. And this is on animal. It's not on human. So I'm going to change that shortly. Okay, folks, I had it on people. So now the box is over the dog. That's pretty good. I'm going to scroll up. Now I did find something interesting. I have to put the flippy screen all the way to the back of the camera in order to access the menu. I cannot have the flippy screen out because the menu won't work. Isn't that something? So on the ZFC, I can look through either the EVF, or I can have the flippy screen out, and I can do the menu. So this is interesting. So here's Wanda. I'm going to scroll around. Now I'm not going to do any, I'm just going to try to see if there's, alright, see if it stays focused. Okay, so I'm walking toward here, this room. I'm pointing here, walking back. So I'm just doing experiments. I'll put it on a large area with people too. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go like this. So it's funny. Right now, the picture, I got it all the way at 14, is very dark. Okay, I just put it on automatic. So I'm going to trust focusing. I'm not even moving the lens. Let's see what we get with aperture. 3, 4, 1. There we go. 1.3, 1.7, 2. Yeah, let's just do 1. Okay. There. There. Is it focusing? Yep. If I put it on it, it gets brighter. It gets darker when I put it on the stained glass. So sailboat, window, the flower, or in the middle, sailboat, flower, stained glass. Okay, enough of that. No, I don't think it's staying in focus, but I'm walking around at f4. And I think I'll put this stuff on the living room studio. Okay. Okay, on automatic, I think the white balance is at A1. Scrolling around, it should be 1 on the aperture, 8000 ISO, 1/30th the shutter speed, aperture f4. And let me see if I do this. Now I'm going to 0 on the aperture. So it's a little bit darker, but is it clear? Okay, so this is a full frame lens. It's at 14. Now I'm going to 30. Is it clear? All right. It's grandfather's clock. Color looks right too. I do have to admit that the color science is good on this camera. So what I've learned is you move very slowly while you're doing video. You don't want a lot of motion blur. So I'm just trying to get some details and stuff. There's the Z72. Right there is the Z62. Right top of grandfather's clock. And if I scroll around this way, there's the Z5. So I'm using this as a puppy cam in here, in the living room. I just lost 1/3 of the battery. So what, I've been recording for about almost 30 minutes, off and on. So you figure 90 minutes, hour and a half. They said like an hour and 35 minutes, so yeah. Or was it 35 minutes of continuous shooting? I think it was 35 minutes. So it has overheated. But I've been shutting it off like 5 minutes. I mean, if you're going to vlog, you don't need to have it on. You just tell the story, and then you just add it to your end of the day log, and then you upload it. So there's Buddy sleeping. Yeah, he's trying to keep cool. So, one whole day of having this camera, Z30. I got the huge 20mm f1.8S lens on it. Let me get back in the shot. It's heavy. I mean, I got the small pancake lens that I put on here. And so this day, let me just messing up. Close this. All right. One. There we go. Got to snap it out. So the only thing I found wrong with this And I'm going to scroll back. Going to right about there. All right. So, if you're trying to access the menu, and you have it on vlogging style, you turn it on, and then get back and you see yourself, okay? So, watch what happens when I hit the menu. Nothing happens. Look at that. So, turn it around and just turn it backwards, okay? Let's see what happens. Menu. See? It has to face backwards to have the menu. Now, I can face it frontwards. And guess what happens? The menu disappears. So if I hit the menu again, not going to happen. If I go like this, instead of turning around, menu, there it is. Now, let's see if it'll stay on menu. So I turn like that. Okay, it stays like that. Now, I'm going to turn it around. And guess what? You can't access the menu facing the camera. That's unheard of. So that's one big flaw right there. It does overheat. I had this for 30 minutes. Well, you know, that 35-minute limit, I think, kicked in. And it overheated. It felt hot to the touch. Peter Gregg had better luck with the R7, but he was running that like an hour and a half. But this is a small camera. It's a little bit beefier and heavier than the ZE10, or the ZVE10, I should say. But I've never had an overheating problem with the ZVE10. But with the picture quality and the science out of both cameras are excellent. So for $700 cameras, ZVE10 is like $10 cheaper. They're great cameras to start off for vlogging, also for a YouTube. You can do YouTube content and stuff. Just remember, when you have when you're panning around, you got to move slowly. I was watching the AK shootout today, and the guy that owns the store with his wife, I think Value Electronics out of New York, that was hosting the event with the TVs, said that he went to school, said on how to teach filmmakers how to shoot video. And they always say that the technology is not there. So you have to pan the camera slowly to get everything in shot. And anyway, I thought that was good advice. On the next video, I'll talk about the ETZ11 adapter with the Sony lenses, see how that performs, and we'll take it from there. So one full day is overheated 3 times. Once I took it off the Ecamm, you know, the HDMI out, and I've already been to the settings. I set 3 different settings on that, and it's still overheated. So on those short clips that you saw at the beginning of this video, you know, it just kind of reminds me of the old days with the RX100 Mark V. You just do a little bit at a time. You can only go up to like 5 minutes before it overheats. Turn it off, think of your next content, let it cool down, and then you do it. So It's the same thing. Only difference is when I was done with one certain lens or a setting, I turned it off and worked with the menu, got everything right, and then I started recording again. So the process took longer for me to do than what you see in this video. So make it easier for me. So saying this is the Z6II 105mm macro f2.8. I say it's the grandfather clock because that's where the camera is located on top of the grandfather clock. And you saw that on the video. This one right here is the Z7 II with the 24 to 120 f4 S. Excellent. All in one. I believe in that. 2 zoom, well, there's other zoom also. But earlier I had the 18 to 140 DX on this Z30. Did an outstanding job. So I call this me. So I won't call it the Z6 anymore, or Z6 II and then whatever lens. I'll just say me. And I'll change the lens out now and then. And then of course the last one is the puppy cam. But no puppies, unfortunately. Just scroll back. Searching. Maybe they'll come back. I don't know. But anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for any other videos I'm going to put out there. And if you have any questions, please write a comment. This is my first year anniversary, starting the YouTube channel. And this is my 170th video. Mainly all of them are in 4K. The last couple of times I've only put it in high definition on the last few video vlogs to see how they would turn out. They're processed quicker in high definition, but I still like the 4K. So anyhow, until next time, remember, stay safe, keep smiling. Bye.